Sheep and goats, symbolism and practical uses. Hello, friends. Today we're going to talk about a topic that's both ancient and fascinating, sheep and goats. These two animals appear more frequently in the Bible than almost any others. They are present throughout the scriptures, not only as sacrificial animals but also in many symbolically significant scenes. Today, we'll explore the meaning of sheep and goats in the Bible, their biological characteristics, and their roles in modern human life. Hi, this is The Sharp Angle. I sincerely invite you to subscribe to this channel. Your kind gesture not only encourages me to create more and better content but also boosts YouTube's algorithm to recommend these messages to a wider audience, so that more people may hear the Word of God through the Bible. Now back to the main topic. First, let's talk about sacrifices involving sheep and goats. Both could be used as offerings, but sheep, especially male lambs, were primarily used for burnt offerings, which were offerings completely burned and wholly given to God. Goats, on the other hand, were mainly used for sin offerings. You've probably heard the term scapegoat. In the Bible, the goat was literally the one that carried away the sins. Beyond sacrifices, sheep are rich in symbolic meaning throughout the Bible. One of the most well-known passages is Matthew 25:32-41, "All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. To those on his right, the king will say, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you.' But to those on his left, he will say, 'Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire.'" Clearly, goats are not portrayed in a favorable light. Sheep appear symbolically in many other parts of the Bible. For example, Psalm 100:3, Ezekiel 34:31, and John 10:14 all refer to God's people as sheep of his pasture. In Revelation, Jesus Christ is even referred to as the slain lamb. Why is there such a distinction between sheep and goats? Let's set aside the biblical context for a moment and look at the biological differences between the two. In biological taxonomy, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, sheep and goats belong to the same order Artiodactyla, even-toed ungulates, and family Bovidae. However, sheep belong to the genus Ovis, species Ovis aries, while goats belong to the genus Capra, species Capra aegagrus hircus. Both are ruminants with four-chambered stomachs that efficiently digest plant fiber. Other members of the Bovidae family include cattle, antelope, and buffalo. Due to their small size and ease of domestication, sheep and goats were among the first animals domesticated by humans, going back to the Neolithic period about 10,000 years ago. They were among the first domestic animals, alongside dogs. Sheep were primarily domesticated for wool and meat, while goats were valued for their milk and adaptability. Domestication also changed their behavior. Sheep became more dependent on humans, while goats retained more independence. Genetically, they are distinct enough to be placed in different genera. Sheep have 27 pairs of chromosomes, while goats have 30 pairs, which creates natural reproductive isolation. They can't interbreed. Sheep and goats also have obvious physical differences. Sheep tend to have rounder bodies and thick wool, usually white, brown, or black. They have short tails, soft facial features, and while some rams and ewes have curved horns, many domestic breeds are hornless. Wool is their most recognizable trait, fine and soft, ideal for textiles. Goats, by contrast, are leaner with sharper faces and agile bodies, well suited for rough terrain. Their hair is shorter and coarser. They have short, upward-pointing tails, unlike the downward tails of sheep. Goat horns vary in shape, from spiraled to curved. Male goats often have prominent beards, hence the term goatee used to describe facial hair. Behaviorally, sheep are gentle, herd-oriented, and tend to follow a leader, relying heavily on a shepherd for guidance and protection. If separated from the flock, they easily get lost. Goats are more independent and adventurous, often wandering alone, excellent climbers, curious, and sometimes stubborn. These behavioral contrasts directly contribute to their differing symbolic roles in the Bible. Even though goats and sheep were domesticated thousands of years ago, they still play important roles in modern society, across agriculture, textiles, food, ecology, and scientific research. Despite belonging to the same family, their practical uses and economic value differ greatly. Let's start with meat. In many Asian markets or supermarkets, mutton typically means goat meat, lean, firm, with a milder gamey flavor. It's ideal for stews, braises, or hot pot dishes like spicy lamb spine or handheld lamb. The more it's cooked, the more flavorful it becomes. In Western countries, lamb usually refers to young sheep meat, tender, mild-tasting, and perfect for grilling or roasting, such as lamb chops or herb-crusted leg of lamb. Mature sheep meat, being gamier and tougher, is rarely found in mainstream Western supermarkets and is typically used in canned goods or sausages, especially in ethnic markets. When it comes to milk, many people think goat milk smells. But in fact, different animals produce different kinds of milk. The most common milk labeled easier to digest or low lactose in stores is goat milk. It's especially suitable for people with sensitive digestion and has a milder taste than expected. French and Italian soft cheeses, like chèvre, are made from goat milk and prized for their tangy richness. Sheep milk is less common but a secret star in the cheese world. Greek feta and French Roquefort blue cheese are made from sheep milk, which is higher in fat and protein than goat milk. Because it's more expensive and produced in smaller quantities, it's rarely sold as a drink but instead hidden in gourmet cheeses. Next, wool. Do you know which type is best to wear, and which one is most expensive? Most sweaters, scarves, and wool garments in stores are made from sheep wool, especially the high-end merino wool. Merino sheep are bred specifically for their wool, fine, soft, warm, and non-itchy. That's why many premium base layers and thermal underwear use it. Australia, New Zealand, and China are major producers of this globally abundant natural fiber. Goat hair might look short and unimpressive, but some types are incredibly valuable. Cashmere, for example, comes from the ultra-soft undercoat of the cashmere goat. It's extremely fine, rare, and known as soft gold in the fiber world. Mohair, used in shiny, long-haired sweaters and coats, comes from the Angora goat. Warm and elegant, it's used in high-end clothing. In short, sheep wool wins in quantity, goat hair wins in quality. Let's talk leather. Many leather shoes, jackets, gloves, or car seats are byproducts of sheep and goats, and their leathers are quite different. Sheepskin is soft, thick, and very warm, especially the kind with the fleece intact. It's used in winter gear like UGG boots, where the outer suede and inner wool create exceptional warmth. It's also used in coats, gloves, and seat covers, perfect for people who feel the cold. Goatskin is thinner but tougher, more durable, and lighter. Many high-end shoes, wallets, gloves, and even book covers use goatskin. It has a slightly textured feel and is resistant to cracking. So simply put, sheepskin is soft and warm for inner wear, goatskin is tough and sleek for outer wear. Beyond food, clothing, and utility, sheep and goats also play hidden roles in agriculture and environmental protection. Goats are like natural ecological lawn mowers. Unlike sheep, which mainly eat grass, goats consume shrubs, leaves, and even thorny bushes. They survive in harsh terrain and poor soils. In dry or mountainous regions, farmers let goats clear overgrowth and control brush spread. In wildfire-prone areas, goats act as green fire brigades, eating vegetation that could fuel fires. Vineyards and orchards even hire goats for eco-friendly weed control. Sheep, though gentler grazers, are excellent at maintaining grasslands, trimming pastures, and encouraging regrowth. In some European countries, you'll find sheep quietly grazing at airports, solar farms, or city green belts, acting as natural lawnmowers. In farming, goats are popular in small-scale family setups due to their adaptability and fast breeding. They're often seen as the poor man's cow. Sheep, producing wool, meat, and milk, are more suited to large-scale professional livestock farms. So, these animals don't just feed and clothe us, they help with landscaping, sustainability, and agriculture. They're truly versatile farm companions. From the symbolic roles of sheep and goats in the Bible to their diverse real-world traits, we see not just two animals but a deep intersection of human culture and nature. Sheep symbolize obedience, trust, and redemption, while goats embody independence and the seriousness of rebellion. These meanings are not arbitrary, they arise from their real-life behaviors and characteristics. At the same time, viewed through scientific eyes, their taxonomy, genetics, appearance, uses, and ecological roles show us the marvelous precision of creation, each species serving its purpose, uniquely designed and wonderfully made. God uses them not only to teach spiritual truths but also to sustain human needs. May we, in understanding these lives, better cherish the complexity and order of the world, and see deeper meaning in even the most ordinary of creatures. That's all for today's topic. If you found this content insightful, feel free to like, comment, or share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Let's keep exploring the world and creation through the lenses of the Bible and science. May the God bless you. See you next time.